Worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. Big King Sadiq hollering at you one more again. All right. Oh, man. Thank you all, folks. I love you all and I truly appreciate you. Um, Not really having any forward announcement about this. Let me adjust the lighting, folks. Pardon me. We're a little bright here. There we go. That's better. All right. Okay. Let's see something here. Is this good enough? We can roll like that. All right. Man, I appreciate and love you all. First of all, thank you all for being a part of helping me to build what? The worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. All right. That's a beautiful thing that all of us are awakening at this beautiful time to be alive on the planet. Probably the single most profound time to be alive on planet Earth. Let that sink in for a minute. Wow. I heard that there was a Hopi sister, Deanne, with connecting the dots with Deanne, was telling me about a Hopi Indian uh, saying, or rather a prophecy, that essentially addressed that fact and saying that this is likely both the hardest and the best time to be on the planet at the same time, right? To be alive here on the planet. Thank you, folks, for chiming in. Look at now, how beautiful is that? Didn't even have any announcement or planning for this live stream, and we got folks chiming in already. That shows the synchronicity. We're on the same vibe. And that's a beautiful thing. We're all striving for what? The worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. Man, I love you all. You get me excited about the future. Truly, you do, because it's beautiful. We got our best lives ahead of us, and we achieve that by becoming our best selves, right? And that's a daily process that we are all making incredible strides on each and every day. Let's get a round of applause for you, all of you. Man. All right, so let me get into this. This is the 10-part series continuing. Sorry for the brief hiatus, folks. But we are on installment number 8, and that is on the innate system. All right, now, excited to talk about that as well. So, we spoke on previous streams and videos about our true magnificence, right? That we should ponder for a moment, and the complexity of our existence, right? And the fact that we have sort of uncovered something that should have never been covered up in the first place, folks. That is that we are fractals, right? Fractile versions of our creator, right? We are all made up of our creator's energy, right? And actually, we get clues to that, right? Things in religion, like we're made in the creator's image and things like that. We get little hints to that effect. But indeed, if you understand fractalization, and if not, you can go back and check out my previous videos on that, please. It's beautiful beyond words, really, that we are indeed fractals of our creator. We are made up in our individual expressions of our creator's energy. All right. Which is without bound, limit, or even accurate description. Right? Okay. And the beautiful thing that we also talked about, I believe even on last live streaming, was that very much the same way that we are fractals of our creator, each and every one of our cells in our body, right, is indeed a fractile of us, right? Um, and just to say it quickly, folks, but you really do need to probably go back and check out the video. A fractalized picture is like a picture where you have a complete picture. If you're from a certain sort of zoomed out standpoint, and if you zoom in, you can find little sort of pieces to that picture that are actually miniature versions or smaller versions of the total picture. All right, but again, check out the video on that, please. Today, we're going to talk about the intelligence, which we started to touch on that again previously, the intelligence in each of those individual cells, and the fact that the innate system is actually our sort of smart system amongst our intelligent cells, right? Which are all the cells that make up our beautiful physical beings, right? Each and every cell in your body, the trillions of cells that make up you, has its own individual intelligence, folks. And they intercommunicate, right? I am not just saying, and I also touched on this briefly in the last video. I'm not just saying that they communicate or are communicated to by our brain. We sort of are comfortable with that concept, right? We grow up engulfing that or sort of accepting that. But what's a little bit different for us is the fact that the cells communicate back to the brain. And now what I'm referring to is that independent of their communication with the brain center, each of your cells actually communicates with one another, right? They have their own communication system. And that system is sort of overlaid by an intelligent sort of, I'm trying not to start delving into a bunch of computer terms and stuff. It's an overlay system that, no, it's an intelligence. It's a layer of your intelligence, right? Of your divine intelligence, because it is multidimensional in nature, right? Of your divine intelligence that actually coordinates the communication and the activity of your cells, right? Now, you say, well, wait a minute, my brain does that. What are you talking about? Well, folks, I want you to think a little bit about your cells and about your function, right? Think about the way your body functions and how complex truly of an organism you are. When you start to factor in all of the innumerable actions, functions, systems that are constantly operating in your body as a part of you, right? And many of which do not require conscious thought or your brain's direction. Okay? All right. So, what do you mean, King? I tell my hand to move. I want my hand to move to pick up that pen, and it moves and picks up the pen. Yes, but there are other functions that you perform to magnificent efficiency and never actually even think about. What do you mean? Well, think about your breathing, for example. Now, there are times, in fact, when we do consciously take control of our breathing. If we want to take in a particularly deep breath, or if we're going in the water, we want to hold our breath, or anything to that effect, right? But generally, you don't sit there all day long saying, breathe in, breathe out, right? It's not a conscious function for your lungs to operate in perfect efficiency, right? That is one example of a system, your pulmonary system, how about the way excuse me, not your pulmonary system, your pulmonary vascular system, when we start to talk about your heart working in conjunction with your lungs, which of course has to happen in perfect synchronization. Otherwise, your blood would never actually oxygenate and then pass throughout your body to feed your cells, right? Think about the perfect efficiency that is involved there, right? You don't sit there consciously thinking to yourself, I need this many particles of O2 for this many particles of red and white blood cells, right? To enter my plasma and oxygenate my red and white blood cells. You're never performing that computation in your mind, that equation, and you're never actually using your brain to give your lungs or any part of your body that signal on a conscious level. That happens automatically with great precision and efficiency. Okay. The fact that I mentioned your heart beating. Okay. Your heart beating happens automatically without you thinking whatsoever, right? Now, there are entire disciplines that start to get us to recognize that this sort of independent, individualized, but very necessary group of functions that happen without conscious direction from your brain, right? That sort of automatically happen necessarily, right, for you remain alive and for your efficient function of your body. That these things are part of a system. Some of these disciplines are like kinesiology, right, or muscle testing. Give you the beginnings of how to first acknowledge this system and then do a little bit of interaction with the system itself, right? And that's sort of a beginning, right? It's certainly a wonderful place to start for you to actually acknowledge this system and that it exists within you. And then to begin to sort of make a conscious contact with the system. So I would propose that your innate system is indeed very much like a an automatic system, an automatic awareness, even, right, within you that is tied specifically to the function of your physical body. Now, while I say that, nothing knows what's better for your physical body, its health and function, than your spiritual self, your higher self, right? Okay. So your innate is actually also in direct connection with your higher self, with your spiritual self, with your multidimensional self, with your non-corporeal self, however you would like to describe that. For that reason, that there is no higher level of awareness that you hold than your actual higher spiritual self, your multidimensional self. So if the innate system is to maintain ultimate awareness, right, of what's happening within your body and what needs to happen in your body, that needs to happen on a multidimensional level. Now, I also mentioned to you that your cells, in fact, of course, your DNA, has, and this has been, look this up for yourself, folks. Again, never take anything I take or anyone else for that matter as just face value. This is my doctrine. I'm going to live by this. Always independently research it for yourself. But science has, in fact, acknowledged that these systems are in play, right? And that with your innate in the intelligence that is coordinated within the cells, you have this system that coordinates multi-dimensional communication between the cells. This has been proven. um, and when I say that, I generally refer to experiments, right? That show proof of this activity or this uh, multi-dimensional coordination, right? Okay, so um, we acknowledge ourselves. Every single cell in our body operates on a multi-dimensional level and communicates with one another on a multi-dimensional level, forming the sort of neural pathway without it actually being a neural pathway because it's not relying on your physical nerves, but on a multi-dimensional level, there is this communication web or pathway that is orchestrated by your intelligent network that is independent of your brain function that I'm referring to and is known as your innate system, right? I gave you some examples on how it works in your body in terms of your innate being the system that coordinates your heart beating without you thinking about it, your lungs contracting and expanding without you actually thinking about it all day, and various other systems in your body that work to excellent efficiency, to perfect efficiency, and that are very necessary for you to be alive, right? For you to function, but do so without directions, should I say, from your brain, right? And they communicate and are directed independently by this intelligent system. Now, this system comes in play in some very practical ways that are very powerful if we think about application of our body's functionality, right? Like healing. Your cells function in an incredible way when you start to really think about what healing is, right? Cell replication, where old or damaged cells are replaced by new, vibrant, new cells. Now, what tells your cells, what tells your body how to combine your proteins and so forth in the perfect way to formulate the cells that you need to form at that time? And that, of course, is your DNA, gives the blueprint of how our cells form. I mentioned again previously that there is intelligence, multidimensional intelligence in your DNA, right? Now, that multidimensional intelligence, again, coordinated by your innate system, allows healing to occur without you sitting there and thinking like to a cut on your finger, heal, close up. It would be nice to see you whole as it was before. Rather, your innate system accesses in a multidimensional way from your DNA the perfect blueprint of your finger, the way it is whole, right? The way it was before any damage or cut or whatever. The same thing that anywhere in your body, the blueprint of the perfect you lies in your DNA. I'm going to repeat that again because that's pretty profound. The blueprint of your perfect physical self, right? The best you that you can be in terms of physicality, right? Your corporeal existence lies within your DNA. A perfect blueprint, a blueprint that has not succumbed to aging, that has no no illness or any lacking of good health in any way that we could think. Um, the blueprint of what you were meant to be. Now, do we know that there are things that interfere with DNA externally and artificially out there? Unfortunately, yes. But I'm talking about how our system is designed to work, right? So minus any of those external factors, your DNA contains the perfect blueprint for you. Your innate accesses that, right? Oh my. Great comments. Thank you all so much. I appreciate that. Um, and with this cooperation, I'm gonna get ready to open this up because I want to hear more what y'all got to say. But yeah, this is a very powerful system when we relate this to our healing, right? It never seemed right to me, even as a child, and I mean this, as a very young child. It never felt right to me, the limitations of our healing. Because as a young child, I paid a lot of attention to animal shows and things like that. And they talk you through, some of the abilities naturally of these animals. When it's in the realm of healing, you've got animals out there that regrow limbs. In general, most animals in the wild heal much faster than we do, right? So these limitations just never made sense to me. And as I went through schooling, all through 1 through 12, and 3 years in college, and the myriad and plethora of books that I've read, excuse me, since then, and all the other sources of information that I've taken in, and most importantly, looking within, really just blows that notion out of the water that we should even have these limitations, right? That almost got me started down another road talking about genetic manipulation, but look at my other videos for that. Right now, let's just focus on how we're supposed to function, right? But yeah, the way we are designed, we should have far greater healing capacity. We should have a far greater healing capacity. We really should. We should, in fact, be able to, heal cuts and so forth much faster. We should be able to have internal healing much faster. Bones should heal faster. In fact, we should be able to take our healing to the extent that these other animals do and have limb replacement, etc. Right? These are all actually scientifically acknowledged as part of the realm of possibility of what human beings can accomplish. And I've always, specifically, I remember voicing this first in school, spoke about, like, why do we have these limitations, right? Why can't we heal better? Why aren't we stronger, faster, whatever? So it's just always been something that's nagged at me. And now I know why, right? Because we shouldn't be this way. And a nod to that. There are and have been studied, right, by various members of the medical community, specifically scientific and medical, archaeological, etc., anthropological, etc. Groups of individuals throughout the planet who do live their entire lives minus all of the toxins, minus all of the chemical interference, all of the electromagnetic interference that our cells have to deal with in developing throughout our lifetimes, the way that our society is constructed. There are folks who do not deal with the toxicity of microplastics and things of that nature, right? Who grow their entire lives minus that exposure. And it has been documented that their healing capacity is far greater than ours, right? it just shows you how we have let external things interfere with the magnificence of what we are, right? And certainly how the socio-economic elite have made that something that is interwoven so intricately into the old paradigm, as I like to call it, right? Because we're in a new paradigm now where we're forging forward in peace, love, respect, unimpeded by anyone, right? Where we're not acknowledging or allowing anything to be elite over us, right? I heard it said just, I think it was just last night on the show. I heard a philosopher being quoted as saying that a truly wise man seeks not to be uh, superior over his fellow man, but superior to his former self. I like that. That's that introspection that we talking about, where you're looking at self and getting better. Um, because by shoot, we want to be better than the next person, right? That just shows that spiritual deficiency within you, that many of us have to grow out of, right? Because the society breeds that in us, that haves and have-nots. But I don't want to digress off of the purpose of this video. Um, Again, folks, this innate system is so powerful in the potential implications of how we can use this system uh, within ourselves to truly be our best selves, uh, at least on a physical plane, right? And is actually interdependent on our mental and spiritual best selves as well, right? In fact, one of the ways that you get in touch with your innate and where you can get to a place where it's possible for you to get in touch with your innate is for you to meditate, really get within yourself, really start to use the tool of visualization, right? Um, at least that's very helpful for me. I actually tend to visualize my cells, and again, coming up being very oriented and gravitating towards science, that's not a difficult thing for me to do because I've always like looked at cells and studied cells. And, oh, the beauty of the mitochondria, right? Again, I told you there's a little science nerd in me, folks, um, but that's proven to be helpful. So yeah, our 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 innate system has unfathomable potential to aid us in truly obtaining our best physical self, um, our optimal health, um, and unlocking many of the abilities that, at least I feel, we should all have and should be commonplace, right? Um, and that I think it's more than inevitable as we honestly really do take greater strides in consciousness. I think it's just inevitable that we will unlock these abilities and greater control and interaction with this system, this smart body system that sort of works within us, our innate system, and be able to do some fantastic things, things that we should have always been able to do, right? That now we have the ability to get our bodies healthy enough, concentrated enough, and interactive enough with ourselves on a multidimensional level, right? And with our consciousness specifically, that we can really accomplish some incredible things. You understanding, tapping into, and utilizing our innate system. All right, folks. Well, thank you so much for chiming in. I'm going to go ahead and open this up. I see at least it got one person in here. I hate that I took so long and opened it up, folks, but I'm going to see if there is a question or comment that any of you may have. Moment. right, folks. So I'm looking here now. Let's see. We had some comments earlier, and now they're not showing. So if you have anybody who made a comment or a question earlier, which I saw a few pop up, but in this particular section, once I open up the chat, I need you to actually chime in with it now. So if you'd like to re-ask that or sort of restate your comment, please do so now, and I'll hang around for a few minutes. Otherwise, like before, if I don't get any questions or comments, I'll just close it out. But we have the beautiful ability for you to just jump in the comments later on, and I'll check them out and answer any questions that I find. Comment any questions I find. In fact, tomorrow I think I'm gonna make it a point to go back through the older videos in case anybody had specifically in this 10-part series. Excuse me. If anybody had any comments or questions that I didn't previously address, right? I'm going to make it a point this week, one day this week, to comb through all those videos and go back and sort of answer any questions or react to any of those comments. All right. So we'll wait another moment or two. I'm wondering how I'm doing this. If I should be opening this up in a better way. It shows that it is. Okay, so I see some comments pop back up here. Oh, Deanne chimed in. Thank you, Deanne. Jay Hopper, thanks a lot. Man, you don't know how much I appreciate that support. You don't know. That's the fuel, the energy that keeps me going each and every day. I live for the sole purpose of building a worldwide movement, peace, love, respect, and I thank y'all, and it means a lot that you give me that support. Brother Sean, what's up, man? Chimed in. That's beautiful. All right. So look, I think folks are sort of made their comments and whatnot. For now, I will, like I said before, check again to see if there's anything I need to acknowledge. Until then, let me just say again, folks, thank you so much. I love you all, truly, right? And you make this possible. And what I see in terms of the potentials and the possibilities for this movement have no limit. No limit, baby. All right. So please keep enjoying your lives. You truly all deserve it so much. Man, if I haven't said it before, I'm proud of each and every one of you. Proud of myself. We should all be proud and very enthusiastically looking forward to each and every new moment, right? I live life now in sort of a mist, and that's not a fog in that I'm not clear-eyed on what's going on perceptually around me, but a mist of adventure, right? In that the future is no longer anything that would ever hold any dread or fear for me, right? I look forward to the things that I don't know yet, knowing that they'll be great. The future holds nothing but the best outcomes for me, because that's the reality that I choose to manifest, right? And that's how I direct my energy. And it's beautiful that is the general direction of our new paradigm and where we're all moving. And that's something that I love. And I'm excited for all of us, right? So once again, thank you all. I love you all truly. Big King Sadiq, worldwide movement, peace, love, respect.